welcome. We are doing a video review today. I'm Max, this is Kat, and Fkatzoid. Fkatzoid, we generally leave Fkatzoid alone because I think he's kind of too dumb to even address. But this is beyond ridiculous. So I am... we're going to defend Islam a little bit because this is just atrocious. This is just simply unacceptable. Isa should be with us any minute now. And I am freaking hearing myself. Oh, here. There you go. Sorry. I have myself in my ear. And that's annoying as hell. Ooh, big fish gets it right. Ratzoid doesn't understand his own religion very well. Can't imagine his understanding of another one will be particularly accurate. So I'm going to give you the setting. But before we do that, make sure to do the social things like, share, subscribe. Send this to a friend. Send this to your significant other. Go to the corner. Yes, the corner of your seat. And get subscribe to Yerba Talks. And that way, we can share the love for the channel. I am... Peter says, hello. Hey. I was literally about to message, but then I somehow thought you were unavailable today. I am always available. I am like Batman. But you feel free to message me anytime, my friend. It's okay. Let me ping Isa. So, probably forgot. 1 second. Need the link. All right. How is everyone doing? Hello. Hello. So, as you know, Fkatzoid has been trying to... He left the flat earth, apparently, one time. Then came back to doing flat earth, and now also pivoted away from flat earth and is now derping about stuff he doesn't understand. So he's going to watch a video by David Wood and then make some wild conclusions and just not understand any of the setting of it. Oh, yes, I do have that. Give me 1 second. That is accessible very quickly. We're looking for a link. Here we go. Crypto Cafe. That's the one. There you go. Sorry, everyone. But it's important. I got the bad signal. All right. We got it. So, he's just... Fkatzoid is basically jumping on a bandwagon that he doesn't understand what the hell is happening and why, and he understands nothing about the whole situation at all, right? So that is basically the gist of today. Isa is telling me that he does need the link, so I'm going to give him the link. There you go. Jack Fetter for $4.99 says, I'm just like Batman without the suit, tech, or money, but otherwise just like him. I mean, that's a spirit. I would 100% support that. Thank you so much, Jack. But I think that it's in the spirit of a lot of the things that we do here that we fairly criticize. There we have Anisa. Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, because today I am on the side of Islam because this is just too stupid. I was telling people it's a little bit of what we're going to do today. You're gonna hate it, but it's going to be amazing. We're going to watch Fkatzoid. We're watching a video by David Wood.
My friend David Wood, huh?
And completely misunderstanding the whole point about like everything that it's happening. It's quite atrocious if you remember Fkatzoid, and you know that his knowledge of physics is very lacking. I would dare say he knows less about Islam than he knows about physics. So this should be very, very interesting. And
I want to say one thing that I think is funny too. I'm like, I always make fun of this. Oh, I don't make fun of, but it strikes me. It strikes me as this thing where people call their name Flat. Flatter Day Saint, Fkatzoid. I'm like, see, like I get Witsit gets it. Like there's that's a kind of a cool name that works, right? It has nothing to do with flat, and it's like, oh, I get the idea. I have wit, and I get it. Like that's a cool name, right? But this idea of Fkatzoid, like I remember a show called Freakazoid. I remember that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if every time I hear Fkatzoid, I think of Freakazoid, and I'm like,
well, he actually changed, and his channel name now is Creality Jesus Saves, which is somehow even worse than Fkatzoid.
What was the first part? Creality?
Creality, yes.
What does that mean?
Who knows?
Oh man. Oh, I love you, brother. You always, whenever we go in a dive, it's a dive of losing our brain cells.
Yes.
Every time we jump in, we're like, okay, we're going to get dumber from what we're listening to.
And I was explaining to the lovely people at home that the reason why I do this, we are doing this, is because of the spirit of a lot of what we do, that criticizing a position requires you to first understand it and be fair in your criticism, and that's none of that is happening here right now. It's actually quite the opposite. It's just misunderstandings. So we're going to do a little bit of debunking Fkatzoid. All right, let's dive right in. Did I do the thing? I don't remember. Did I do, everyone? Can you remind me? Did I did the thing? Do the thing? You know what? We'll continue and I'll do it at the end.
Good evening, everybody. Glad you could make it. Tonight's going to be exciting because we are going through Islam and how it's false. But anyway, it's going to be exciting. You guys voted in, so please do hit the likes, share the show. It does.
Adorable. He believes he debunks Islam in this video. Isn't that cute? We're starting off with a bang.
Help the show to grow. Now we are joined by PGA, Cruikshank, and Luca. I hope you guys are doing well.
Oh, good, sir. Oh, good.
It's good to see you guys. So what do you guys vote for on the poll? Islam is false.
Yes, I put yes. I mean, it's false as in false, false faith, they've got a false God, but Islam is a real thing.
What do you mean they have a false God? It's the same God as the Christians and the Jews, if you know, like anything. You see, it starts off with like the ignorance level. It's like right skyrocketing.
So to follow what you're saying, if he wants to take that position and say that, Islam is false and they have a different God, then it allows, like, Jewish people can say, hey, we have a different God than Christians.
Yeah.
Or you can just give grace and just say, okay, people believe in God and that's it. Like, I think it's a much smarter position than the position of like a different God. I'm like, who has the right and wrong God? Like, I find that to be a strange position. We're talking about something that we can't measure, we can't taste, we can't feel, and you're going to try to say, well, I'm going to tell you what the real thing is, and I mean, if your God is real, I mean, you could get a better fashion. Sorry.
Isa, the problem is that we need to take out the thinking of the smart position, and we need to put in the chip of these are flat earthers talking about shit they have no idea. So that is kind of the level that we're going for today. So we're going to hear a lot more of this kind of very ignorant, just, what is lower than Reddit tier argument. This is just
4chan?
scratching the surface of something.
I think 4chan is considered like
That would be
That's the-
perfect. It's 4chan levels of argumentation.
So I suppose it's not false. But I put down, yes, it is false.
Yeah, Islam is false, full stop.
Yeah. But I mean, there is such a thing exists as Islam, but it is false. Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll go through a few things tonight.
I mean, Islam is a religion like many other religions.
It's a fake religion.
How? Fake how? Fkatzoid. Luca is actually a Glober that is friends with them and hangs out with them for some reason. I don't get it either.
It depends on the perspective.
No, it's definitely definitely a fake religion. There's no doubt about it.
I mean,
Even the Quran contradicts itself constantly. The Quran.
Fkatzoid, I have a sad news for you. The Bible also contradicts itself. Sorry. The Torah also contradicts itself. They're not. The problem is that Fkatzoid will make a bunch of criticism that is also perfectly valid for Christianity, and that's something that David Wood, for example, doesn't really understand. He thinks he has apologetics, but they have the same effect. It's just excuses to a good point, and that is
I think that's the point that you just brought up.
A problem.
If you can give grace to these texts, or you can view them hostilely. Now, if you want to take a position, like for example, if you want to take like a mythicist position, like J. Smith takes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, and I think Raymond Ibrahim validly critiques this, it's like then you'd have to bring that to the Torah and the Gospels.
Right.
The standard would hold. If you're going to take a mythicist position, you got to go all the way with it. You know what I mean? So, and I don't think J. Smith is really willing to do that. Like, he was like, well, Mecca doesn't exist. And I'm like, in the scriptures don't exist either. Like, you can't prove that they exist. I don't think you should look at religion through a literalistic lens. I don't think that helps the believer. I don't think it helps the person who, the petitioner, the person who is a member of faith, a person who has faith. I don't think that that's a practical position. I think the problem is exactly what you said. If he wants to take that position and say, well, it contradicts, I'm like, the Torah has two creation narratives. The way that Judas Iscariot perishes is in two different ways. You can allow for reconciliation of these texts. I think I think a theologian can do that. Yes. But if you're going to do that, you have to allow Muslims to do the same thing. You can't say I can make excuses for my contradictions, but you don't get to make resolutions, because then you just feel like a grifter,
It's like you're not allowed to use the exegesis shield. It is like, why? You do the same thing. And it gets so much dumber than this. It's just so good.
Of course it does.
Shows that it's false. The Quran even shows that it's false, because the Quran says the Bible's true. And at the same time, it wants to say the Bible's not true.
No. It doesn't. No. You're stealing an argument and you don't know it.
You're completely correct, Max. It's 1,000% correct. He doesn't understand what the Islamic dilemma is. The Quran does not say that the Bible is false. The point of what the Islamic dilemma is doing, if you're taking a literalistic interpretation, is saying when you look at the Bible, the stories of the Bible don't seem to match up with the Quran. That's what it is. It's not what he's saying. You know what I mean?
Yes. He doesn't understand it. He just tried it and failed. Tony says, hello first. And then he said, is he suggesting we should have consistent standards of evidence between faith? No, we need to be fair when evaluating these claims, because Fkatzoid is saying that Islam is false because he heard a Christian apologist do attacks on Islam, and he just now believes it. So he's leeching content. That's number one. And the problem is he understands nothing of this, literally nothing. So we're kind of pointing out the flaws in that kind of thinking, and then we're going to address a little bit, of, for example, why David Wood does what he does and that kind of stuff. But that's later.
Well, what about the people that say Christianity is a fake religion?
No, it's not.
Then they have to come prove it, can they?
And they have to prove it's a religion. Well, no.
Oh my God! Well, dumbass. The guy here is called DJ. Isa, for your reference. He just said you have to prove it's a religion. Dumbass.
I'm not religious. I mean, there is Christianity religions out there, but they're also false.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, let's go over. Well, yeah.
Everybody uses this word religion as though it's like, no, Jesus was not for religiosity.
Hey,
He was
Max, can you just give me 1 minute? My mom needs help with a technological thing. Can you just give me a minute? I'll be right back.
Yes, if you tell her that I love her.
Oh, I sure will.
Okay, then yes.
Okay. She heard you.
Hi, Max says hello.
Max says hello to
Fkatzoid
you.
understands nothing about anything.
I send my love to him. I'd like to get to know him.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Okay, she sends her love back to you and she likes to get to know you. That's what she said.
That's
So-
awesome.
So I'm gonna go help her for a few minutes and I'll be right
Go,
back.
yeah. I'll speak
You can
with
just
the,
like look at the chat and stuff. I'm so
I'll
sorry
speak
about
with
this.
the people here.
She
Don't
just needs a
worry.
little help with her TV.
It's
so
okay.
thank you, I appreciate it.
No problemo.
Thank you.
Megan says hello. Hi. We are talking about Islam today. I know it's not everyone's particular cup of tea, I would say, but I think it's important that when we criticize, we do it fairly, and this is just who. I just also got a reminder that we are doing. Hold on, let me get closer to you guys here. There we go. We're getting close to the streamathon. It's this weekend. We're going to help Critical Think raise some funds to finish paying for that Antarctica trip. And we have a marathon stream coming up, so pretty excited for that. We have like 4 hours each day together, so it's gonna be good. We're going to do a little trip down memory lane of Flat Earth if no one else does that. That's my idea. No one steal it. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Don't know how much Isa's going to take, so we can do that. We can continue for a little bit. They don't say much here. It's Luca is. I don't know why he even bothers, because they don't get it. Luca is making a fair point here. He's just expressing that the saying that Islam is false is just a meaningless platitude statement.
It's religion.
Well, I don't really subscribe to any religion, so obviously I voted yes. But I'd vote yes for Christianity as well.
Well, we're going to start off with something a bit fun first. I think that's going to be more fun. Have you guys heard of the Al Zoot?
Oh, of course. Did I not just put a joke in chat about it at the start? Because on your thumbnail it says Muhammad. I says, oh, that's Muhammad. Is his body still there? Is he protected behind the Diddy line?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That accent. PJ just speaks with a freaking potato in his mouth. It's so hard to understand. Holy shit.
Yeah, do you
Oh,
like
this
the
is good.
thumbnail? Do you like?
They're talking about Al Sud, and they're going to get into the story later. And I'll give you a little bit of the. Ooh, hold on, let me check this out. Because I haven't put my link up yet.
I'm back.
Okay.
That was pretty quick. I figured out how to get her TV to work.
Perfect. Hold on.
She's a bit older, so smart TVs are a little tricky for her. You and I are.
But she uses a computer, right?
Well,
That's,
I got her a flat screen TV. I
That's-
bought her a flat screen TV when she came back. She's using that now. It's a nice big TV. She can watch the stuff she likes.
Megan says marbles, mouthful of marbles. Yeah, it's quite. Okay, hold on, because I'm checking on my stuff, my responsibility stuff. Give me 1 second. What? Day 1, Saturday. What the fuck is happening? It's 12 hours. Okay, never mind. Oh, we can deal with this. So, thank you for reminding me, because I think we have some time problems. Alrighty. So far, I went a little bit, and so far the only thing they've done is just mention the Al-Zut, but they haven't said anything yet. It gets dumber and dumber.
Look at that now.
Oh, the thumbnail's great.
Yeah.
I love this.
What a
story.
mission trying to make that thumbnail though, because every time because I was like specifically saying they're
Muhammad.
riding on Muhammad's back, and I keep
Yeah.
making Muhammad look like a horse or a camel.
Yeah.
Al-Khwarizmi, who now changed to algorithm because that's how Toon calls him, says people who diss Islam should spend the rest of their life doing arithmetic using Roman numerals. I think that would be an awesome punishment if these people did any kind of arithmetic, but I like where you're thinking.
They're the masters of math, don't you know?
Yes.
No,
So I don't know.
We actually need Al Khwarizmi to be here because we need another Islamic support.
I don't think he is.
No, I'm teasing. I'm joking. I know.
Yeah, okay. No, you know who would be good? Our friend, remember Samir? Samir was nice. Sometimes made bad arguments, but he was nice.
yes, yeah, he's a bit freaky that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their fake would be pushing it a little. I
No,
wouldn't
it's definitely
use the word
fake. No,
fake.
it's definitely fake.
He has
I'd
no
just
idea
say
why.
untrue.
Islam is a fake religion created by the Catholic Church.
What? No, how? Did you
It's
hear that?
anti-Catholic. It's anti-Catholic too.
Well, he is anti-Catholic because he thinks that they are. What was it? He thinks that they are kind of like a polytheist or some shit like that.
That
He
makes no
thinks
sense. The Catholic
he
Church
thinks
and
the
the Orthodox
Catholics
Church.
are not true Christians.
They were the original Christians. The Catholics and the Orthodox are the original
Right.
Christians.
But
Protestants.
that is
Yeah.
Fkatzoid's understanding of his own religion.
And I'm like, I understand why Protestants left. Like, there was like indulgences and there were a lot of terrible things that were going on. But I mean, any sensible person would be like, yeah, the Catholic and Orthodox churches are the OG churches. I mean, you can tell, like, even with the liturgy and all that stuff. That's just, it's the OG stuff. You know what I mean? As like organized movements, I should say.
The key was that to any sensible person. That is the
I love you, bro. You're so funny. You're
Big
just like,
Fish says that the PJ's accent is a Geordie accent, even sounds bad to us in the UK. I can't even imagine if a group of people speaking like that came next to me. I would just run away.
is that like Geordie LaForge from Star Trek, or?
No, I
Oh.
think it's what they call it in the UK, just the name of it. I was keeping this low screen because I wanted to see a chat, but the chat is boring, so I'll just do that.
I want to tell you a little secret about me. A thing that I learned, how I learned the Cockney accent, was playing. There was this video game that I really like a lot called Dragon Quest VIII, and they put it on 3DS. And there's this character. His name's Angus, and everything he speaks is in Cockney. They have this character that's completely Italian and completely. So they have like different characters from different like accents. And Jessica, who is like the fan service character, if you know what I mean, she's totally the fan service. She has a heavy, like very posh, proper, like London British accent, you know. And it's so funny because they all have different types. Some have an Italian accent, some have a British accent. It's like the whole world, they all have different kinds of accents. It's a fun game that I recommend. Dragon Quest VIII is really good.
Big Fish said that the accent is from Newcastle. Okay.
600 years after Jesus.
I'd just say untrue.
No, not untrue. It's fact.
Evidence, please. Because it's not a fact. You're just making shit up, Fkatzoid.
No, I mean, Islam is untrue. I would,
yes,
because people definitely do believe in Islam. That
doesn't make it true though. Just because they believe in Islam doesn't make it true, does it?
No, of course not.
Well, yeah, that's why.
But it's a fake religion. But it's also a fake religion.
Yeah,
but also it's a fake religion because it's based on false. How can I say falsities?
Okay.
So what are those falsities?
Well, yeah, but he doesn't know. He just he watched a couple of David Wood videos and now thinks he can talk about Islam, but no, right?
Yeah, and David Wood is a scholar. Like the thing is, like you saw, I engaged with David Wood. We didn't have. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like this crazy, fisticuffs type of thing. I agree with a lot of what he said. Like, do I believe there are Dawagandists? For sure, I do. I think there are total. And they're dishonest about looking at the text. And David with me was like, okay, if you're willing to look at these things with limitations, he's like, I don't have a problem with you. And I'm like, yeah, I look at all these texts. I think they all have limitations. That doesn't mean that they have to be false. It just means that you have to use a different kind of lens when looking at them. I don't think it's a zero-sum game. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game.
Right.
More complexities added when we're looking at these things. But people want their thing to be perfect. So they're like, my religion, Islam, is perfect. It has no flaws. As a person who's kind of an activist, I'd be like, yeah, there's a lot of anti-blackness. There's a lot of homophobia. There's anti-Semitism. I mean, like, there's a lot of misogyny. There's all these issues that we need to talk about, and we can't just sweep them under the rug. And literalistic interpretations of these texts can lend to these interpretations, which are problematic. And this happens for any religion. You could be Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim.
That's the beautiful thing, right? That they all kind of have the same problems, which is fine because it's a good equalizer.
I agree.
But it kind of just describes another era of humanity in a sense.
We were in a different era, man. Like, and our ancestors were not, they had issues. Like, we've gone through enlightenment. Like, we have a different kind of space now. We're not just raping and pillaging. Like, it's a different world that we live in, and I mean, still some of that stuff exists, but overall we have modern medications. Like, when people say I hate vaccines, I'm like, dude, do you know how many of us would die if we didn't have vaccines? Like polio, cholera, yellow fever, smallpox, all of this stuff can wipe people out. And I'm like, because we've developed these things, we've developed technologies, even the way, like, we have, like, how we do sanitation, like our toilets and our bathrooms. Like, it's like, I hate that when people are like, I want to go back to the good old days. I'm like, good old days when we died at 650 and 60 and like I just broke my leg, dude, right? And
you would have died like in the medieval ages. You would have just died there,
or I would have been like a crippled. Like I would have been a
forever.
Crippled,
Yes,
right. Like I could have maybe healed from it, but I would have been a permanent crippled that would have to walk on a cane. But thanks to modern science, like I didn't have a great time at the hospital. But I'll give you one thing that I think was great. They did a great surgery. I went to an orthopedic hospital. They did an amazing surgery, even though the care was not good. The most important thing was taken care of, which was the good surgery. You know what I mean? The other stuff, it's fine. Yeah, it was terrible that sometimes they didn't give me food and it was not a comfortable space. But having a good surgery, I might be able to, like, you know, I might get arthritis earlier on in my life, but like I can probably return to a pretty normal way that I was, you know?
Yeah.
And if I was in the
they want to go like, let's go back to the good old days of the Black Plague.
I'm like,
that was just awesome.
I'm down with science, man. We need science. It helps us. If we didn't have it, we'd be in a very terrible place. But when people are like, we don't need science, I'm like,
no, why? We can pray.
We do so much because we have it, like our architecture, everything that we have. Like, it's amazing, I think.
We can pray for it all.
Yeah, but people still subscribe to that religion.
Well, people still subscribe to the heliocentric religion.
Oh my God, the heliocentric religion. Isn't he
Come on, but
no, that's true. People still subscribe to heliocentric religion, so.
That's right. That's right.
Look, heliocentrism is just, it's not
do you believe it's a globe?
Yeah.
Dumbass, we know it's a globe. We measure it.
So it's a belief system. There we go.
Yeah. Do you also believe that everything is revolving around a certain bright, hot thing in the vacuum of space?
Oh yeah, you can try to make it sound. You can try to put some tone inflections to make it sound ridiculous, but it doesn't change the fact that that's exactly what it is.
Brother, I want to tell you one other thing. I know why they don't like Catholicism either. Because Catholics, modern Catholics, after post-Second Vatican and Nostra Aetate, believe in science. They actually believe in science.
Yeah, they believe in science. They have a little bit of a confusion with the Catholics and the Jesuits because the Jesuits are part of the conspiracy to push the scientific model, right? So they kind of conflate the two. There's a lot of misunderstandings going on a bunch of ways. And also the Catholic Church has reformed and historically reformed. So they're a lot more open and they don't like that. They kind of like prefer the homophobia and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they prefer. So yeah. And Fkatzoid, when in that channel that we no longer talk about, Fkatzoid had a debate with Brenda and beliefs kind of came up, and Fkatzoid started raging, saying that Catholics weren't true Christians and yada yada, and things got out of hand pretty quickly.
Why is he a true Christian?
Because he says so. But just to be fair, my understanding of Christianity is way bigger than his, and I behave more as a Christian than actually he does.
I agree with you 100%. You know what's interesting?
I don't know.
You know what's interesting? It's like my experience, because like I've spent a lot of time around atheists. I even have the Skeptics Anointed Quran and the Skeptics Annotated Bible and Annotated Quran. And skeptics put a lot of work into what they do. You know, like I read, what's his name? He's a friend of mine actually too, David Fitzgerald, and he's a mythicist, so he believes that Jesus didn't exist, right? He has a book called Nailed. And he did a lot of work. He did a lot of work to get to the position that he has. He talked about the Talmudic versions of Jesus ben Strata, Jesus ben Pantera. He did the work. And I like that about skeptics, is that they will do the work. They don't just say, I believe. They go and say, hey, what is this tradition? Let me learn about it. Let me go deep into it. And that I'm like that because like I'm an academic, so I'm really into like, let's go deep into the stuff. For me, that doesn't mean that the religion has to be false, but what it does mean is there's a lot of layers and complexity to religion. And I think a part of the layers are these complex elements that say things that for modern audiences are very problematic, to say the least, and it's just, when I'm listening, I'm like, these guys are really...
Oh, hold.
Sure.
Hold that thought. Really? And we'll get your opinion after we've continued watching this a little bit further. Me asks, does it actually say no? That's on Fkatzoid screen.
This isn't really the topic, so.
Oh, and ask me where I'm from. I'm from Uruguay.
No, you brought up religiosity, didn't you? So yeah, I'm saying that's a religion. It's heliocentrism. It's people heliocentric. It's almost worshiping the sun. Everything revolves around the sun. You know what I mean?
Fuck. I've said it many times before. Worshipping the sun would actually make sense because the sun is fucking there. And it brings heat and it brings light and it's indispensable to life on Earth. It would make sense to worship the sun. Sorry. Way more sense than worshipping anything else. It won't give the results are the same. It won't give a fuck. It won't answer prayer. But at least it's there. And even when it's cloudy, it's there. Right? So I don't know. I don't see why they find that that idea so foreign when it's an object. Right?
I feel you.
That people subscribe or believe in Islam. There are people that believe in Islam.
Tony says it would not make sense to worship the sun. It's incapable of responding. Yeah. So is God. And all gods and that kind of thing. That was kind of the point. At least the sun has one advantage. You can see it. It's like right there. So
and you made other good arguments. It gives heat.
Yeah.
It's conducive to life. Sorry, it's conducive to life.
Yeah.
Like we can see that. Like even if you're an ancient person, you would say, "Oh, the sun is super important." Like even a lot of the religious texts talk about the sun and the moon because these elements were really important for ancient peoples,
Yeah. It tells you when to grow, harvest, when to crop, the seasons. It warns you that the cold is coming and so on. It does talk a lot if you know where to listen.
So
they can believe in it all they want. It doesn't mean it's not a religion. It doesn't mean it's not fake. It doesn't mean it's not.
You are fake.
Wait. Are we gonna go the whole night around on this, Luca? Can we get to the actual topic now?
I was going to say, I could say, Luca, I could accuse you of, I could say you wear pink knickers, and you might turn around and say to me, well, that's not true. And I'm saying, well, I know it's true because I said it's true, but it's actually not true. But I'm saying it's true just because I believe it. It doesn't.
Oh, see, Tay, for example, when I was a child, I viewed the sun as a symbol of God because the sun gives life, right? And you go into the sun, and it just feels so like so nice on your face when it's a lovely warm day and that kind of stuff. Dude, it makes way more sense to worship the sun. I don't know why these people don't get it. Like, seriously.
It's funny. We've been watching for a couple minutes, and they've not said anything important yet.
No,
yeah, let's get to it before Lucas scares all my people off. Anyway, it's not funny, man. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's literally not funny.
I'm
not very serious about this. People are moaning about you constantly because you keep doing the same thing over and over.
You keep doing the same thing over and over.
You do.
I'm accommodating you because you're a nice guy and everything. But, I mean, there's boundaries, you got to, learn to control yourself sometimes.
Yeah, that conversation you control yourself very edifying, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, let's carry on.
Are they discussing this with an opposing view, Fkatzoid? I mean, no. They are kind of leeching content, but you'll see why they fail at just basic stuff.
Oh, zoot, guys.
Yeah.
Whose most trusted sources are filled with claims about Muhammad's amazing virility and sexual stamina. Muhammad
Pause this for a
was
second.
famous among his followers for
One
being
second. I want
Yes.
look at the difference of charisma between these three and David Wood. It's like a giant sun versus like a candle. Like it's so different. Like the charisma's on another level. Like you're
Yes.
watching this video, you're like, dude, this video is so much more entertaining than whatever you're doing.
Yes. Oh, I love this. Megan says they're echo chambering it. Perfect. Yes.
able to handle 9 or even 11 women and girls in a single
He's
night.
very good.
Consider a few passages. Sahih Bukhari 5068. Narrated Anas, the Prophet used to go round, have sexual relations with all his wives in one night.
We have to acknowledge now that though David Wood is very well researched and everything, he's biased, extremely biased in his presentation of the material, in digging up the material, in not necessarily providing the context. So there's a lot of these things that you need to take them with a grain of salt. Some are valid points, some are valid criticism.
It's sensationalization.
But some others are not. And it's always important, I think, to my view, from the outsider view, is that a lot of the criticism that David Wood does of the Quran are exactly valid for Christianity, and he doesn't see that. So that's very important to remember.
So the thing I would add to that is, yeah, he's a sensationalist. Like if you watch Islamicize Me, it's a complete sensationalist program, like where he takes the thing and he makes the most extreme interpretation of it. But he's a comedian. Like that's a part of what he does. Like he's an apologist and he's a comedian. It's a dual thing. So yes, he's looking at this and giving an extreme interpretation. And you're right. Like if I took out, biblical passages, like it's weird when people critique the Talmud. I'm like, it's not any different than critiquing the Tanakh. Like the Tanakh has even much more extreme stuff. Like
the problem is that a lot of these people don't know. Like, for example, Fkatzoid probably thinks that the Talmud is like Jewish scripture. But I've heard that people say that, and it's like, oh, okay.
It's all Jewish scripture. I would include the New Testament as a Jewish scripture. It's about all the texts are about a bunch of Jews. The New Testament's about a bunch of Jews.
No, but wait, hold on. Let's define that it's like on equal standing with the Torah. What I meant is that it's the holy text. That they think that the Talmud is part of that, and not just what happens in every religion that is just the result of scholarly debates and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's exegetical legalistic. Like the Talmud is very similar to like Sunni Islamic exegetical texts, where the imams and the rabbis, they look at the text and they give hypotheticals and they give kind of legal opinions about the stuff that's there.
In Christianity, it's the writings of the church fathers and so on, and theologians across time, and like all religions have that.
And you'll find things that are going to be questionable for modern audiences within the church fathers too. It's like you can't try to say, well, the Arab guys were terrible, the Hebrews were terrible, but then the early church fathers, they were just completely on track. All of them are going to say things that are not going to fit the ears of modern audiences. They're going to be complexities, and you can either give them all grace or you can all condemn them. And I think you're correct. If you're going to, I think it's valid. It's a valid approach. If you're going to be nasty in this way, you could be nasty to all the texts,
Yeah. And I mean, it probably wouldn't take long for us to go to the Middle Ages and find some Christian writings of what is the best recipe to get crispy infidels in the pyre. So, like Fkatzoid, you have no leg to stand on anything, any of this. Catherine says that would support, but Fkatzoid and crew are sickening to watch. Yes.
Yeah, narrated by Anus. I think that's very ironic.
His name is
I know,
Hyman.
It's-
It's Hyman.
It sounds like butthole. Come on, Flatzoid. And
Wow,
you
that was
heard
that was
that
dumb.
it's
That was
an
dumb.
ass. Like seriously.
around having sexual relations. Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to have like stamina of a bull. He can like have sex with how many wives at night?
Wow.
How did you get that right?
And a couple of generations before, these people were barbarians, Flatzoid. That is something which that like he doesn't understand, and probably doesn't even know about the context of. Think about it. Just a couple of generations before Muhammad, these people just went around the desert doing whatever the fuck, and they were pagans, and they did a little bit of slave trading, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you whatever criticism you have of Islam, the unification of Arabia and kind of the civilization in the sense of a verb of Arabia, that is undeniable for Islam, right? But yeah, it's
I mean, every time, as far as I know, normal people, when you finish, you're finished. You're not going to go on like for 12 times further.
oh, Flatzoid can handle only one. Oh, isn't that sweet?
I think Fkatzoid is really just a match.
Flatzoid is just a single shotgun.
Fkatzoid's a
Oh,
mensch. He's a really wonderful human being. I just am enjoying every time he speaks. Like, you know, my heart flutters and the angels are, you know, blowing trumpets in the sky. That's what I feel every time he speaks. That's what I'm feeling.
you know we have to clip that. Hold on, that is 7:24. I'll make a note here, cause Flatzoid. In my country, if you can only handle once, you would die of thirst.
But I mean, like it's like weird that you're like they did polygamy. I'm like, yeah, the ancient Hebrews did too. Like that was normal.
It was for a time, and
King Solomon had 1,000 wives. Like, I mean, you like
some people got some exceptions, and it only got kind of like codified with the Old Testament, and then refined a little bit more with the New Testament to say that, hey, no, maybe we shouldn't have more. We shouldn't have more than one wife, and then we came with Islam allowed. But then, you know, with the schism between the Protestants in England and the Catholics, a lot of it was about divorce, about being able to get a new wife without having to separate her head from her body, like Henry VIII did, right?
Yeah.
History is so much more complicated than these morons have any idea, and they're just talking out their asses. It's so funny.
And he had 9 wives. Sahih al-Bukhari 52:15 narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet used to pass by, have sexual relation with all his wives in one night, and at that time he had 9 wives. By the way, check out the chapter heading. Whoever had sexual intercourse in the boiling, sweaty Arabian desert with all his...
Peter said Fkatzoid is a village bicycle. Yeah, but it's probably electric and has the battery kind of worn off because only one person can ride, and then it needs recharging.
I don't think I really saw this Fkatzoid before. This is my first time like really listening to him, and it's like it's interesting. It's an interesting type of thing that you're going into this foray. You do realize there are Muslim flat earthers too. How do you engage them? Are they false too? It's like you think Christians who don't believe the earth is flat are not really Christian. That is your position, right? Like that's his position. I've seen him debate. I think I may have seen like a few clips of him talking to a Christian, and I'm like, he doesn't believe anybody who doesn't see the earth is flat is not a Christian.
Right.
So I'm like, would you have more comportment with the Muslim who's a flat earther? Like it's so
That's
weird.
a good question. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. because
It's
he thinks
weird.
he's right because he's a flat earther, but also thinks the Quran is false. And that person is a flat earther potentially because of some misunderstanding of some verse in the Quran, right?
Exactly. It's the same thing. And it's Salafis usually who take the flat earth point of view because they read the Quran literally. The flat earth is like, I'm really glad I did that debate as a flat earther because I really didn't know much about it. And it forced me to learn what the flat earth position was. And I was shocked because I'm like, the best arguments I thought, I didn't think they were biblical. I used that because I said they're religious, but I thought the best were the old science stuff like Tycho Brahe and the other the Michelson Morley. I thought that was the most interesting stuff because I'm like, this is stuff that you can kind of like test and verify. And I also like the pictures, like the hand-drawn pictures of what the flat earth looked like. I was like, but I never see them bring that. I see photographs and I'm like, honestly, if you brought those pictures, that looks much more sexy because it actually looks kind of like it could be real. You know what I mean? Because it's like a representation, even though like it doesn't prove anything. But I'm saying what it does is it appears to look real, much more than a photograph. You know what I mean? Like the photograph doesn't show us anything. It just shows like I'm like, if I look at one of those books, you know, those illusion books, like my eyes can like I can see different things if like I look cross-eyed and stuff like that. Our eyes are very limited, and what we see with our eyes can be distorted in many ways. So like if I saw a curve in the water, that could be a distortion of my eyesight. You know what I mean? And they never talk about that. They never talk about the limitation of our distortion of our eyesight, you know, and they're just like, no, this picture is true. And I'm like, you're not going to take that variable and take it. Like, that's like very obvious, you know, like even when you go to court, eyewitness testimony is very limited. So, because
a lot of flat earthers, the problem they have is they think of vision as your eyes just throwing out vision rays. And a lot of them talk about it like that. So, but hold on, let's not get sidetracked.
Wives and then took one bath only.
Ew, brother.
Brother, ugh.
Try not to imagine the smell by the time he climbed on top of wife number 9. Sahih Bukhari, 268. Narrated Qatada, Anas bin Malik said, the Prophet used to visit all his wives in a round during the day and night, and they were 11 in number. I asked Anas, had the Prophet the strength for it? Anas replied, we used to say that the Prophet was given the strength of 30 men. And Saeed said, on the authority of Qatada, that Anas had told him about 9 wives only, not 11.
Yeah, there's inconsistent narration. Like, ooh, big whoop. 9/11, it's the same thing. Who cares? Right?
Oh, you said 9/11, bro.
Oh! Shit, no. And it's coming up in a couple of days.
It is.
Wow.
Muhammad's followers used to say that he was given the strength, the sexual strength, of 30 men.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's an oddly specific number, isn't it?
yeah.
The Prophet was given the strength of 30
Man, wow.
Yeah, he's very special, man. But 30 men is very specific to something. You're gonna see. You're gonna see.
Okay.
men. An average man has no problem having sex with his wife some night. If a healthy man had 2 or 3 wives, I don't see why he couldn't have sex with 2 or 3 wives in a single evening. So why didn't Muhammad's followers say that he was given the strength of 3 or 4 men? Why 30 specifically? Fortunately for us,
Figure of speech, exaggeration, bunch of reasons. Make it look like exaltation. I don't know. Those are just like 3 off the top of my head without thinking too much.
You're correct. It could be a number to just say how powerful he was, you know.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if this is extremely legitimate.
Or some completely arbitrary kind of numerology by some scribe that was typing that thought 30 was a magic number in some kind of way or some shit like that. The possibilities are endless.
modern historical and anthropological researchers have solved this mystery. We now know how Muhammad received the strength of 30, count them, 30 men.
Men.
Inspiring
30 men. And I think you're going to listen to this. It's got to do with what we call the arzut.
Yes. Maybe he's been
What we call you're just stealing an argument from someone else, you filthy trash.
training a little bit. You know?
Yeah. And this is exactly why I wanted to bring David Wood up, Robert,
He's funny.
because he explains it really well in a funny way.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Isa, what do you think David Wood's reaction would be if he got on Fkatzoid's show and found out that Fkatzoid is a Christian that thinks that other Christians who are not flat earthers are fake Christians?
Well, as a person who knows David Wood, he doesn't believe in any of that nonsense. Like he's like, this is not important for the Christian belief. You know what I mean? David Wood believes in science. You know what I mean? He doesn't take any of these. You know what I mean? He like when I mean believe in science, like he respects that stuff. You know, he's a philosopher, so it's like I think he would be like, "What the heck is this?
Yeah,
like, what's going on here?"
It would be a funny interaction, like for
would.
sure. Or but even I think it will go into a discussion because I don't think David would just sit there and let Fkatzoid tell him he's not a true Christian.
So, do you know what happened with David Wood? There was they had an interaction with Jay Smith because Jay Smith has been putting up the Nomo position, you know, that the Prophet of Islam did not exist.
Yes.
And David Wood, when interviewed Raymond Ibrahim, they were streaming together and they were talking about it. And they're like, "Look, this is just how history was back at that time. If you're going to say he didn't exist, then you would pretty much say nobody existed, because it's like they didn't have like trails like your trail of Facebook or MySpace or LinkedIn or any of these types of things where people can know who you are, and you know, internet. They didn't have stuff like that where you had like a footprint, like a carbon footprint. So like it was much harder to track history. Like my father's family comes from India. Even now it's hard to track people. Like my dad's birth certificate was lost, you know, because there was a thing called a monsoon, like a terrible rainstorm, and a goat or a cow, I think it was a goat, ate his birth certificate. So the Indian government didn't even have his paperwork.
Right.
So they made up a birthday. They made a birthday up. So it's like, and that's in India. So I'm like, it's history is very murky. So what you do is you look for what is plausible. Not, you know, you don't look for what you know is fact. Like you just say, well, it looks like this is the best case out of the scenarios. And this is why people will say the New Testament is a historical document, besides like the supernatural elements, because, you know, you don't have other information from that time that, you know, like instant like corroboration of things. Like all you have is like Josephus, which lightly corroborates some of the stuff. But people see the New Testament as a historical document because it records these certain kinds of events. So you're like, well, this is what we've got, you know, so you stick with what you got. It doesn't, you know, and that's kind of how ancient history works. It's a lot more complex in that way, you know.
Who is
Who's this?
Who are you talking to, Derp One?
Who is Derp?
No idea.
So
He does.
shout out, David.
They have Fkatzoid's picture, so
Yeah.
I suspect it might be a joke. But
It's not a
I don't
very
know.
good. It's not a good picture. It's a.
I
Pretty,
don't know who they're talking to.
It's a pretty awful picture of Fkatzoid.
So many studies on this topic.
Yeah.
I'd need the strength of 30 men just to share the highlights with you. But there's one study from psychologist Bruce Rhine that provides quite the overview. So I'll quote a few relevant excerpts. Let me go ahead and say, as we begin, you have no clue how common relationships between grown men and adolescent boys were in the ancient and medieval periods.
Mm-hmm.
You may have heard some things about ancient Greece, but this was all over the place. Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, the Americas,
And Europe and everywhere. Yes. Has always happened. Homosexuality, it has always been there. Big whoop. Again. Derp is talking to Peter. Okay.
everyone seemed to have something going on with adolescent boys. Even after the spread of Islam, for instance, this continued for centuries in the
Christianity has the same thing. What was the age of Rebecca? Boom, we're done. it's over. I don't know why they pretend they don't. Like, what was the age of Mary? You're lucky that it doesn't say, because the tradition is that she was 12. So the criticism is valid. If you would also say the caveat that in your holy book it's also wrong, and you don't, so it kind of invalidates the argument, and that's why you should never just listen to apologists and repeat shit, Fkatzoid.
Muslim world. Mature, immature male homosexual behavior was pervasive in Islamic societies, North Africa, Western Central Asia, from 8th to 19th centuries. Mature, immature male homosexual attractions were seen as just as normal as heterosexual ones. Main interest was in boys early.
And this is actually very interesting, though, if you think about it. Islam is all against homosexual, correct?
Yep.
But yet their favorite prophet was a homosexual.
Well,
Where do you get that from? How? What? The story hasn't even happened, and he's just saying that Muhammad was a homosexual. Like, how? You just were reading that he would go around just fucking his wives one after the other. That does not sound homosexual to me.
I mean, if you want to make such an argument, you could make an argument for bi, which is not homosexual, it's bisexual.
Yeah, and I was going to touch up on that. Because, and this is something very important, to this day, in some places of the Middle East, because a man has multiple wives and multiple children, they think that kind of justifies some kind of intersexual play with some of the people, some of their mates, their buddies, that kind of a thing. So it is in some places culturally accepted, in the sense that it happens and it's hidden, but everyone knows about it. But it keeps hidden because they don't really speak about these kind of things. But I've read a little bit about it, and it is just, they don't see it as homosexual because they already have wives and children, right? They just see it as some innocent man-to-man sex kind of a thing. And it's a cultural thing. But, they ignore a little bit of every kind of context that there is for the historicity of this stuff.
Definitely liked
The other side.
men's company and touchings.
Yeah, I mean, what's the other one? DL Colby, where he goes and lies in his lap after helping each other out.
Oh my God. Customs, local customs. Dude, here in Uruguay, we say hi to everyone when you go and like you meet with your buddies. We say hi to everyone with kind of like a half hug and kisses, like male to male, like we kiss each other in the cheek, and no one bats an eye. It's just local customs.
America's crazy. Like, it's just so obsessed with sexuality. It's like really, it's obsessed with race and obsessed with sexuality. So, and I would say UK too. I think they all have this obsession, and it's like who cares if someone's gay? Like, grow up. It's the 21st century. Like, really, right?
Max says it's crazy how afraid of touch Americans are. That's yes. And like how we hug everyone, and people come here a lot. A lot of the travel YouTubers, it is kind of a popular thing to watch them come here, and everyone explains to them why people are just kissing everyone, like hello, hello, hello. And you come to, let's say, a barbecue at your friend's house, and there's 15 people there. The custom is to go around and kiss all of them, like hello, 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 and that kind of a thing. Not to that's kind of that's too much. One for every. That's too much. But one kid, that's just the custom. And to an American, that might seem outrageous. Like you go and you kiss someone else's wife, for example, right? Here it's not. It's like nothing. But they don't understand any of it. It's so they're so clueless. It's almost adorable. Then you think, yeah, they're very very nasty. So
I think it's like white American culture too. To be honest with you, it's not like all Americans, but like
No,
the overarching white American culture, like that ethos, yeah. And I think a lot of people follow the white American culture, but it's like this idea that
yes,
we, gay is back, because it's the Protestant ethic by Max Weber. It's this idea that you got to be like this Protestant where you're going and making money, and you can't talk about religion, you can't talk about politics, and you got to live in this perpetual fear. It's very unhealthy, and it's very toxic. I think for American men, suffer greatly from this nonsense.
a little bit, yeah. Bruce Wayne asks, who will win in a death battle, Condiment King or Burger King? I don't know Condiment King, and I
don't
do
either.
like the steakhouse burger from Burger King, so I'm going to say Burger King. Aldebaran says, it's because we had the Quakers anally influencing our society. Was that on purpose?
Weird.
What's in it?
Sorry?
Well, I went to a friend's school. Friends are Quakers, so the same thing. But when I went, it's like there's a complexity. Like the Quaker community is like really amazing, like with prayers, and it's very open. But also they created the penitentiary system, and it's like it's just complex.
True.
It's complex.
And they shake. That is that is very weird. We talked about that in the Tell Me That Story show one time. Industrial Nerd says, you know how many dudes I kissed in Uruguay? I don't know. I mean, if you come here and you go around, I think you should go doing. You should go do what people do, and that is kiss people. Don't be afraid. Lean into it. It's not going to end up in anything weird. It's just what happens. Just put your and it's not, hold on, because it's not like mouth to cheek. It's kind of like cheek to cheek, right? So there's no improper contact. It's nice. You're close to people, gives you a chance to hug them a little bit, show some appreciation. There's nothing wrong with that.
And that Aisha has to go and scrape the semen off of his garments.
Oh my goodness. No.
And then the people are like, no, that was just an angel. He looked like I mean, really.
Yeah, Vicky sent me a video. It's a 2-minute one on TikTok, and it's in Arabic or something, and it's again.
I do. Tay says, let's encourage people to be more platonically intimate because there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but it goes a lot because these people think that you have to be modest because otherwise you're begging for it, that kind of a thing. So they also misinterpret contact. There's no winning with these people.
10-year-old that's waiting to be married to an older man. 10-year-old. Yeah,
but that's the thing. They're trying to normalize us again.
Yeah.
This is what I don't get when you get like the people that are trying to support Palestine and Islam and all this nonsense. They don't understand. They are against what society deems immoral today.
Exactly. I mean, I don't agree with what they do, but we're more tolerant than what they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, there's so I mean, arranged marriages happen still in the US. I don't know. I don't know specifically if Christians do it, but arranged marriage, the institution of arranged marriage still happens. Or, even if it is between the children of two CEOs, that they're kind of nudged into it, kind of a thing. Like those things still happen to this day. So I don't know what their criticism is. Again, just blindly following whatever David Wood says, just because it's David Wood, which I don't think it's the correct approach.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when you get this Queers for Palestine,
Mhm.
and you watch them and you think, you like the first people they're literally going to throw off a building,
Right.
yet you're trying to defend them.
Wow, that
I was
is
actually
such
laughing
a
the other day.
fresh
There was
take. Oh my god, he has such unique, fresh ideas. Like this
Yeah.
has been said like a billion times. You're not just imitating and copying someone else's perspective. Impressive, bro. You win.
And he fails at it because, like, yeah, dude, yeah, it's a conundrum that gay people want peace for some people that their beliefs goes against them. But that's the nature of like caring, right? That's the nature of if you care, it doesn't matter what we'll deal with the effects later, right? But it doesn't prevent you from actually caring, whatever the
And it's
fact
also a
may be.
hyper reductionist position. Like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
Palestinian people are like hate gay people.
No.
You know, I went to school with Palestinians. Yeah, they were pretty conservative, but that doesn't mean like if they saw gay people they would kill them. Like the people who would be killing the gay people is the Hamas, which is the leadership, and that's not all Palestinians. It's just a very fanatical group that's running running Gaza. So it's like, and they torture and abuse the Palestinian people too, and the Palestinian people actually protested against them. So
We always talk. These people always talk about the Islamization of, and we don't really like it. The Islamization of the West, but we rarely talk about the Westernization of people who believe in Islam, who become like liberal Muslims who go do. Who still do their prayers but are more accepting of alternative lifestyles and follow the laws of where they are, and over the generations, become more inclusive. Some people remain culturally Muslims but are atheists, the same way that happens with some Jewish people and deconverted. They have the same thing that everyone else has.
I 100% agree, and I would say it's complex and it's nuanced. There's many different elements. There isn't a true Muslim. There isn't a true Christian or true Jew. It's just like the thing is that people have different perspectives in their faith, and they're allowed to do that. But it's weird. It's like you're like, no, they have to think like this way that I want them to think. And I would say also, and I hope I don't offend the audience here, but I think both you and I are products of this, but Christian imperialism was not just this beautiful, wonderful thing. Like,
oh, right, yeah.
They killed, murdered, and they destroyed all the indigenous religions. Like, you're accusing Muslims of doing that? I'm not going to deny that Muslims didn't do that, sure. That's why we don't have the indigenous Arab religions, but are you not going to say the Christians did do that? Where's the ancient Irish religion? The ancient French religion? A lot of this stuff got wiped out. And basically what people do now who call themselves pagans, they had to reimagine it because it was so thoroughly destroyed and wiped out. I'm like, are you going to hold that? And I'm like, yeah, you're looking at Christianity as this very nice religion now, but I'm like, think about the medieval era. Like, it was a bunch of kingdoms, like, which has nothing to do with Jesus. Like, Jesus would refuted that completely. He was not like, yeah, he's like, if you want my cloak, if someone wants a cloak, you give your cloak. You can't run like an imperialistic, extremely hierarchical society that way. Like, Christianity is in direct conflict with monarchy. I'm sorry, it is. Like, I know that might offend someone, but it's in direct conflict with monarchy because the thing is, you can't. The idea of compassion and empathy, that if someone desires your thing, you give it to them. A king is not like that. They just want more and more power. You know what I mean? Their goal is to get more land and more territory, and they have feudal battles with each other. Like, that's what existed in ancient times. And if you were some kind of rebel, the kind of torture and abuse you would face is horrendous. You know?
Right.
If you want to critique Muslims for doing that, fine. I grant that. The Ottoman Empire was far from perfect.
They think you can justify it because, oh yeah, we are the righteous ones.
And it's like, and it's sickening to me because I'm like, and I would say probably women suffered greatly from most of these spaces. Like women face a lot of probably sexual abuse. I would say that's one of the biggest things that happened, and it's so bad. And like you're trying to make it seem like Christianity was just rainbows and bunnies and chocolate, those chocolate eggs that you find on Easter, that's
well,
modern.
it does sound appealing that we are spreading the evangelion, the good word. We're killing a little bit of people around while we're doing that, but never mind. Like they really forget the nasty side and what they did with the Americans.
And that's exactly the point that I'm saying, bro. Like, look
What
at
the
what they did to
Christians
South
did with
America.
the Americans, yeah, that was. I mean, there's no measure. You can claim human sacrifice. You can claim all the justifications that you want. It is still a genocide, and yeah, it's bad. It's bad. We have, like, I don't like Christians that say that the colonization of America was good, because these people were here minding their own business, doing the little wars, and some were harvesting corn and that kind of a thing. Show it if you want. Read it.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Well, I really like what Peter Markley is saying because
Yeah.
we have to talk about the history. I don't care who did the bad things, but we need to call it out because that's how we grow. We can't pretend and sweep it under the rug. And he wrote earlier this year, I read about a story from Western expansion era where a group of white men who I think were deputies of the government used a Native woman's infant baby as target practice. Mm-hmm. I went to the Black Museum, and what they would do to Black women is that they would put like 2 cats into the woman and see which woman in like her nether region. You know what I'm saying? Like and they put the cat in the cat, right? And they had the 2 cats competing to see which one would rip out of her body. And this is what people did, and because this was a part of lynching, right? And it was so horrendous, and it was so evil, and it was so violent. These are people who like said, "I'm a Christian," and I'm like, "What kind of thing is this?" Like, I'm like, this has nothing to do with Jesus at all. Like, I always have to keep saying, I'm like, what does this have to do with Jesus? This has to do with your own evil, nefarious behavior, And yeah, he said reading made that sick, and it is sickening. It's funny. I showed Peter Markley's video to my mom, and she loved the video so much. She's like, "Who's this person? I love this video." The video about like where he's talking about like how my mom really doesn't like Trump too. My mom's an anti-DJT, so she saw the video. She's like, "This is beautiful words. I love these words. They're so beautiful." That's what my mom said. She really loved because it was very sincere. It actually reminded me a lot of like what's his name. The filmmaker, that famous filmmaker. I used to love all of his stuff. I used to watch his thing over and over again. The Roger and Me, Michael Moore. Michael Moore did like these exposés, and he's a person of faith, and he was like, look at how terrible like the gun culture is, where people all want guns and people are
do you want to know a weird fact?
Tell me.
When I was in 5th grade in school, I went to a bilingual school. In my English class, the teacher showed us Bowling for Columbine for some reason. In school, in class, and I was like, "What?"
I watched it in class too.
Like, how? That was my first crude awakening of like what America can sometimes be.
Yeah, but we because we have lots, and that was the beginning. Like I remember when I was a kid when it happened. It was like because they didn't have school shootings like that. You know what I mean? Now it's like it happens it's like all the time. And I mean, it's saying something. There's some problems in America. Like, I don't think you have anything like that in Uruguay where a guy just wants to come in or a gal or any other kind of gender affiliation wants to come in and just say, I'm just going to kill everyone here. And I'm like, because there's a huge bullying factor in the United States. People like to bully a lot, and it's really like it's weird. I remember Nadir Ahmed, and like that's one of his tactics. Is he does a lot of bullying. You notice that he does a lot of bullying in his debates, and I'm like, it's a very weird.
He tries.
He tries.
He
but
tries.
Yeah. But American bullying is a real problem. It's a real problem. So, but it's weird.
Right.
I think I'm 100% with you.
A little bit.
I was just say one last thing. I agree with you 100% about like this video. It's like they're critiquing Islam, but the same critiques could be used against them.
Yes, they know literally nothing about it, and I'm I think it's not far now that I have one that's really good.
A quiz for Palestine trying to have a rally, and Islamists showed up and were attacking them and trying to shut them down.
No doubt.
It's like, can you open your eyes now?
Oh, they're blinded. They're just blinded by their own. I don't know their own. What is it? What would be the word? Not their own agendas. It's their own.
I think it's
ideologies.
I think it's just people have become so indoctrinated to think that they just want to be seen. How can I put it? They just want to be accepted by everyone. You know what I mean? And they're like Greta. They're gonna hop on everything just to get attention.
Yeah.
Oh, the projection, just like you're doing right now, Fkatzoid. Oh my God!
Wow, let's throw Greta Thunberg under the bus. Wow, what a very classy.
Because he's a beacon of rectitude.
Okay.
And then that attention goes too far, and then they end up becoming Palestinian supporters, you can say.
Well,
because they don't actually know anything about the history of it. They don't know anything.
Don't go there, Fkatzoid. You know nothing about this.
Really support Palestinians too. It's
against all they seek is propaganda, and they just fall for that.
Sorry, I'm freezing up a little bit. That's why I turned off my camera.
And like, we got to do something about it. Well, they sit in their luscious, cozy home somewhere in the Beverly Hills, getting their mochas every day at Starbucks, and it's quite crazy. And I mean, it's exactly how you think. It's just like another guy said. Well, if you guys are Palestinians, and you're, for instance, in a country like the UK, or you're in
I was like, bro, you do know that Palestinians are Muslim and Christian and Druze. Like, they're not. They're not just Muslims, so it's so weird that
America or whatever, and you're fighting for free Palestine.
Am I back? Yes, looks like I'm back. I'm sorry, I froze up. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Why aren't you back at Palestine? If it's so great, why aren't you there? What are you doing there? And for the people that are saying free Palestine, why don't you go to Palestine then? Why don't you go there and then see for yourself how it really is if you think it's so great?
But the people over here saying, we welcome them, they're welcome, come over. How can any migrant be illegal? Well, they come over illegally, that's why a migrant's legal. Oh, well, we welcome them, we'll welcome you. Well, you take it to your house. Oh, well, I haven't got the room, but they are welcome in my country,
But that's the thing I don't get. If you're an illegal migrant, how do you get free boarding, free food, free everything, and you get the right to just be above the law?
Wow, just every hateful thing is coming out. Let's hate, hate migrant people.
All of it.
Let's hate Palestinians. Let's just hate all these people. You know what I mean? It's just like you can't stop the hate spewing. It's like one hate spewing to the next hate spewing. It's like
all of the bingo cards in the nasty person bingo. He has them all.
Yeah, it's
like why are you fleeing a war zone? And then mocks them because they're fleeing a war zone. Like, seriously, dude, make some sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Early to mid-teens, peaking at about 14. The appeal vanished with a beard about 16, 17. Adult men were scorned if they were passive partners. Manly behavior was to be active. Partners' gender did not matter. Staggering amounts of love poetry show an obsession with boyish beauty, seen as comparable to women's. Poets attracted to boys constitute a who's who. Desire for boys, but not behavior or lust, was permissible under Islam. But behavior was surprising since the Quran.
No, why am I freezing? Okay, hold on, because we need to do something. Isa, I'm going to set up a stage for you alone for a moment, and I'll reboot my computer and I'll be right back.
Sure, I'm here. So it looks like I'm still here. So let's read some comments here while we're waiting for Max. I don't want to keep watching the video until we're back. Let's see. Defend yourself from what? Oh yeah, we're talking about guns. So yeah, Tay was telling us about being in Canada, and yeah, I think you should watch Bowling for Columbine. It's really interesting actually. I want to see if we can show that clip though. What he says about Canada, because it's really funny. Let's see, Bowling for Columbine, Canada. Yeah, you betcha. I'm so sorry about that. Well, fun facts about Canada. We're gonna look at that for a few minutes here. Here we go. It's only 3 minutes. Fun facts about Canada.
Grammarly now uses AI to help you write, not just revise. Type a prompt and generate.
I thought it might be time for some fun facts about Canada. I hit the streets of New York to find out what the average American thought about our friendly neighbor to the north.
Canadians don't watch as much violent movies as Americans do.
What's the sixth day?
That's wrong. Hordes of young boys all throughout Canada eagerly await the next Hollywood bloodbath.
Man, I wanted the guy gets his leg taken off.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry about that.
And naked.
Yeah.
Naked at one point. I like that stuff.
What movie did you guys see tonight? Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That's a good movie. I like it.
Did it make you want to come out here and
It's like
play
There's
no poverty in Canada like there is here in the States.
Wrong again.
Actually, we've also had a much higher unemployment rate. When Michigan was running at 4%, we were still running at 8 or 9%.
Bowling for Columbine. Do you remember this?
Unemployment rate.
I think there'd mostly be white people in Canada.
That's strange. Because when I'm in Canada, I see black people.
Wait, I don't know. I don't know if we can play that.
Is non-white.
Sorry, here, I'll stop it.
No. You're gonna get the monetized.
Yeah,
Wait.
I'll stop it.
Right there.
Really, we can't. It's only a couple minutes long. That's you can't do that.
Yeah, but you can't play that kind of stuff.
Really?
Like music and trailers for movies and that kind of thing, because it's content ID and it belongs to stuff to other companies.
What about the fair use?
No, it doesn't cover some of that kind of content. Unfortunately.
That's crazy.
Yeah, even with other YouTube channels like Jubilee, for example, you're supposed to be able to do, reviews, but they will just demonetize your video or take all the money from your video, which is even worse.
That's wild.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm opening the thing. There we go.
Yeah, because I thought what Nazumi said is fair use covers it, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah, I was like, if you showcase we're talking about how this is useful for us, I was like, yeah, I don't think that's It's not what
Yeah.
we're doing. We're not doing D responds where we just sit there and let the person talk for an hour and then nothing happens.
Yeah, but no, the automated system just flags it. There's really not
man.
much you can do.
It's like it seems really fascist, man.
Entices Muslim men with the youths of paradise. Surah 52. Therein they shall pass to one another a cup, wherein is no idle talk, nor incitement to sin, and there wait upon them youths for them, as if they were hidden pearls. Surah 56. Immortal youths wait upon them with goblets. Surah 76. Immortal youths wait upon them when thou seest.
Doesn't it seem like a very perverse PDF file kind of belief system?
Well, absolutely.
Quite in the open, doesn't it? Sound like that?
Even like,
doesn't it sound more like a ritual, just like in Christianity? For example, how you go through baptism and communion, and then you go into the life of becoming a priest and that kind of stuff. And also, we have to point out David Wood is just taking verses out of context, right? I don't know. I don't appreciate that kind of criticism. Whodunit says, Isa, in order to defend yourself with fair use on YouTube, it involves courts or getting lucky with the YouTube automated system. Yeah, it sucks, actually.
to the point that Islamic women, when they die and go to heaven, they become younger and virginal.
That's
so
the thing.
men,
Again, talking about stuff we don't know. There are many schools of thought of who the hell are the virgins, because roughly the population distribution is 50-50. So you need more people than there mathematically are in order to satisfy the 7-to-1 man ratio, right? And we don't get much of an inkling as to what happens with actual women. I've heard some Muslim people say they're kind of like drones or sort of another creation specifically made. But PJ just talking straight out of his butthole. Peter says Catholic Church kind of has its own PDF problem, indeed. Yeah, it's always been a problem because where you have the prey, you get the predators.
But that's the thing. Most of them don't make it to heaven.
No, but the righteous ones allegedly do, and they become virgins.
Yeah, they just keep. Every Muslim man gets 70 virgins.
Yeah, they get resurrected.
And those 70 virgins.
It's 72, but okay.
Just keep becoming virgins again.
Yeah.
They keep deflowering virgins for eternity.
See, they want to take their carnality to heaven with them. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want heaven to be the same as earth, but more sin? You know?
But they don't consider it a sin to have sex with your wives or your virgins in heaven, dummy.
So
well, that's the thing. Islam is literally built on self-lusts.
Right.
That's all it is.
It's not. It's really not. Does it respond to some other cultural pushings or cultural the cultural foundations that Islam was built upon are so different that it has some different customs, like allowing for 4 wives, right? But that doesn't give you anything about the truth values of the claim or the religion or whatever else. You're just evaluating Islam based on your own sensibilities. I don't know. It just seems disingenuous. It's not the 4 wives thing that makes Islam false. I'll put it that way.
It's perverse. It's because it's Satan's religion.
Right.
It's not. It's not
Oh my God.
anything good.
No. No, Fkatzoid, no. It's not Satan's religion. You're just wrong. How, like, it even talks about the Satan, Shaitan. Like, what?
Good. It's trying to masquerade as good, but it's not. It's literally perverse.
I'm getting a little bit of Tyler vibes there, Isa. Oh,
Who's Tyler?
come on. Why is this shit freezing? Vroom Vroom, it's Razor says, can anyone fill me on the lore of Fkatzoid? Where does the name come from? I think it was December 30th. I was streaming with MC Toon, and Fkatzoid came on the stream, on the side chat, saying about how he was not formally invited to the final experiment, yada yada. So Toon goes and looks at the about section of the YouTube channel and realizes that Fkatzoid didn't have his email. He had a bunch of nonsense where to pay him every possible way to send him money, but it didn't have his email there. So while Toon was checking that and streaming that, Fkatzoid came into the Zoom call and rapidly tried to change it. But instead of writing flatzoid@gmail.com, he wrote Fkatzoid because the L and the K are right next to each other. And that's kind of it. And recently, I learned not too long ago that flat earthers think that I hacked Fkatzoid and did that, and that was very funny.
Definitely not.
Them, thou wouldst think them scattered pearls. Way to get the troops fantasizing, Muhammad. Here's a description of the practice in Libya. Mature, immature, male homosexual behavior was a well-entrenched custom from antiquity to at least the 1950s.
Wow.
Matchmakers made marriage-like arrangements between men and adolescent boys. The boy got a gift larger than bride prices for females.
Wow.
Man and boy then entered into an alliance with family approval. Prominent men lent each other their sons for sex. Love affairs and jealousies over boys were common. Robin Mom said, they will kill for a boy, never for a woman. Again, this was all over the place. But we know...
This is not exclusive to Islam. David Wood is being a little bit unfair here with what he's quoting. This is just the cultural mildew of sub-Saharan Africa. Has nothing to do with Islam.
Bit more about how some ancient cultures, in Melanesia and New Guinea, for instance, thought these relationships played an extremely important role in the development of boys into men.
Oh my God. The Spartans used to leave. I don't remember if it was 7, I think it was 11. They used to make the boys go out into the wilderness age 11 and survive and come back to their house. Yeah, it's not sexual, but it is in the same level of barbarity. But somehow the Spartans are romanticized, and a lot of these cultures are demonized. And I think we should be fair. Yes, do some of these cultural customs hurt our modern sensibilities? Yes. But have they, with tribes that have been doing some of these practices for hundreds of years, we don't really have the moral authority to tell them that they're wrong.
Mature, immature male homosexual behavior was highly organized in this warrior society.
I just want to point out what's being read now. Would this be seen as an abomination to God of the Bible?
Yes. Yes.
And what we're going to read later is I'm going to open some surahs where we're going to see where they tell Muhammad specifically says to judge by what our book says, the Injil, what the Bible says. And the Bible says what they believe here is an abomination.
Right. Okay. So, you know that they can also do that to you, right, Fkatzoid? So, there are two concepts in Islam. The concept of the kafir, which that would be me, one of the non-believers. So kafir is the singular, and the plural for, the group is kafirun. And then you also have the mushrik, which, Isa will correct me if I'm wrong, mushrik is a little bit worse than the kafir, because the mushrik are the people that do shirk, and that is assign partners to Allah. That is like the big no-no, right? So Fkatzoid can fill his dirty mouth and say a bunch of stuff he doesn't know about Islam, but they can hit right back at him with the whole Trinity thing and that kind of thing, like God is not one, and you can throw out all the accusations of paganism for Islam because you don't understand how they internally justify things like the Kaaba, right? And you can do all of that, and you can be as nasty as you want, but the Muslims can be nasty right back, because to them, Fkatzoid, you are of the mushrikun. You are of the group that committed shirk, potentially the only one group that is worse than me, than the kafirun. So, Fkatzoid, you know jack shit. You should shut the fuck up.
That's right.
And even the Quran as well says this is sin and is wrong, but yet it pushes it. Really odd.
No, it doesn't push anything. You're wrong. What David Wood is reading is some of the tribal dispositions for these things in sub-Saharan Africa and that kind of and those more in the deeper Middle East. So no, Fkatzoid, this has nothing to do with the Quran.
Hypocritical religion, really, isn't it?
Yep.
Sexual intercourse was believed essential to boys' physical and spiritual development. It supposedly transferred male power to them, implanting this in their penises, the seat of male power. The belief was that insemination grew the boys into men. At 11 or 12, a boy's father chose for him an older male to inseminate him for months or years.
What?
Well, yeah, that happens in some tribes, sure. And in other tribes, it's other things, right? In our culture, you turn 18 and you're allowed to go and be with prostitutes and do drugs and go to the casino and buy cigarettes and drink alcohol. So how is that any kind of different? I don't. Of course, I don't agree. But these are like ancient cultures. These are seminal excuse the pun. Seminal cultures from deep in Africa.
Some boys chose their own inseminator. Insemination was thought essential for growth. Between ages 10 and 14, boys entered a men's house after a ceremony declaring them deceased, i.e., death of childhood. They were newly born through the powerful medicine of older males' semen. Each boy acquired an adoptive father, an older male who was his mentor and regularly inseminated him, which was believed necessary to make him strong.
How?
Males lived in sex-segregated men's houses.
my God. This just watching someone and latching on completely to what they say without checking, without even doing a little bit of thinking, is just astonishing.
From a
Yeah.
young age.
Yeah.
Mature, immature, male, homo.
And then people want to know why we say Muhammad was a PDF file.
Wow.
No, you say that because you're lazy and you don't know what else to criticize. Listen, if someone is talking about Islam and criticizing Islam, and they had to bring up the Aisha thing, it's because they know nothing. If you have to go to that to criticize Islam, you're being lazy. That is not the criticism to have. Christianity is not safe from that. The Bible is not safe. The Old Testament is not safe. The New Testament is not safe. Does it not jive with our modern sensibilities? Of course. We have moved on. But that means that we're better. But you don't have the ground to stand on. This was just a description of how people behaves. Aldebaran says that tune will start in 15 minutes. Yes, I know. And we're going to forward over to him.
Yeah. Guys, Islam is such a religion of peace and acceptance and love. I mean,
yeah, just like all others, in the exact same way that it doesn't really have much hell. They're all on very, very kind of very even ground in the claims they make about the in group and about the out groups. There's really not much of a difference there.
why do you think the Islamists today are so hellbound on having grooming gangs where you are, PJ?
Because they're not. There are grooming gangs, sure, but it's not. You can just make the bold claim, the Islamists.
Well, and you also have people of European ancestry who do grooming gangs too. It's not just Pakistani Muslims.
No, we have rich white Christian guys doing the same thing. So
it's weird that we're targeting one group and not looking at all the others. It's just very interesting that what happens when they do it is it just like they're misguided youths, and then when Muslims do it, they're evil Muslims.
Demonically possessed or some kind of shit like that. Did you hear my point about the kafir and the mushrik? I'm right on that, right?
Say it one more time.
Oh, okay. Because Fkatzoid was talking about, and he goes a little bit later, but we probably won't have enough more time today, that he's talking about how the Muslims are pagans and says all this kind of like bullshit about how it's false, yada yada. And I was like, okay, Fkatzoid, the problem is that you can do all the lame criticisms you want about how they're pagans because of the Kaaba, and you don't even know the story or how they're this and that, right? But they also have fair criticisms on you, because if you subscribe to the Trinity, you would be considered a mushrik, and that is worse than kafir, because the mushrik are the ones that do, the mushrikun are the ones that commit shirk, and that's bad, right? So if you put them in a scale, kafir versus mushrik is a little bit worse, right?
You said, is mushrik a little... Yeah, mushrik basically means to make partners, and a kafir is someone who's covering over the truth. So...
Right.
Yeah,
me compared to Fkatzoid. Say I'm just of the kafir. I don't believe, right?
Yes.
Kafirun, okay. But Fkatzoid says, for example, if he subscribes to the Trinity, that would be kafir. That would be,
would be a mushrik.
That would be shirk. That would be shirk.
Yeah.
And that's bad,
you're making partners with God is the highest crime according to
It's
like
the highest, yeah.
your standards. So if
that was kind of my point.
one were to
So-
view the Trinity in that way, yes, you could. And we're using his logic according to his.
we're
logic,
we're using his logic, and of course I'm also not going to like he's using bad arguments, so I'm going to just use a bad argument from the Muslims, right? Because the Muslims, I do think that when the Muslims say, "Oh yeah, you're just a polytheist because God is one, it's not three," but it's like, dude, you're completely ignoring that they have a theological explanation of why they think that God can be a Trinity. And you can say whatever, you can debate the belief itself all you want, but they do have that the same way that you have your own theological justifications for whatever. I do like staying, kind of stable in our criteria. But like Fkatzoid knows nothing about this, like literally nothing. It's kind of amazing, actually.
Makes you wonder, eh?
And now he's taking some quotes that David Wood is doing about this kind of relationships and the pattern, and this is like in Papua New Guinea. Like, this is not even the Middle East itself. This is like far away, right? So it has a little bit dishonest on David Wood's part in this specific thing.
Sexual activity was pervasive. Certain kind of insemination was seen as crucial for boys' development. It began in male initiations for boys ranging in age from 7 to 14. Semen was viewed necessary for growth to be a strong warrior.
Dude, I just checked because I thought like Papua New Guinea is close to Australia. Like, this has nothing to do with the Middle East at all. Took like 1 second to read something else on the slide, and what it took me to type Papua New Guinea onto Google to realize that this argument is not the best. Max says, yeah, they're right around the corner from here, from Singapore.
So they believed that virility and manliness could be injected into a boy by a man.
Oh, so it is
very strange, very disturbing ideas circulating in the ancient world.
So I want to say something in defense of David Wood here. So he's doing this on purpose. I don't think he actually really
I know
believes this.
David Wood is doing it on purpose, but it's a little bit
I don't think he really
tendentious.
believes it. I think what he's doing is he's saying, you're acting like you're so holy moly Muslims, right? Look at this thing. You have these issues, and I think that that's what he's doing. Because I've watched a lot of his videos, and I think that that's. I don't think he's really invested that this actually happened. It's more like,
No, this does happen, but this is in Papua New Guinea. This has nothing to do with Islam. That's my point.
No, I'm talking about the Islamic point where the Al-Zud.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I think that that's just completely sensational.
Yes, and he did say that if you watch the latest debate with Apostate Prophet, he did say that it was kind of like a skit. It's a gross misinterpretation, a tendentious reading of a text to make those things appear, and it's kind of clapping back on the Muslims doing that with some of the stuff in the Bible, right? So I understand the back and forth, because I also watched David Wood a little bit. I kind of like his little hate boner for Islam. It is kind of funny, right? But I do identify some of the flaws in their argument, which is sometimes that they can be turned around on him very easily, and that he tends to also do some uncharitable readings. I understand that he's on a battlefield where the Muslims are doing the same thing to him, because they say some of the dumb arguments that we also counteract here like the gospel is corrupted and this and that, the scientific miracles thing, and all of these trash arguments that we don't really stand for, right, Isa? So that's kind of the idea, to show a little bit of both. Aldebaran says hate boners are the best. All right, so Tune should be starting in a couple of minutes. So I guess let's do final thoughts, and we'll be on our way for today. Isahau, what do you say about that?
You want me to start?
Yes.
I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked by what I heard. I don't really see his purpose of going after Islam. I don't really think it helps his agenda, but like I understand why he's critiquing it. It's interesting, like if you look at the stories of the Bible, like you have, is it Elisha, where like there's a big bear that eats these children, make fun of him for being bald,
yes,
and then,
Elijah, yeah,
and then the bear eats the kids, and it's like,
yeah,
do you want to look at that? No, you don't want to look at that. You don't want to look at the guy who did coitus interruptus and was killed for doing coitus interruptus.
yeah.
All of these texts have things that are not great, that have issues for modern audiences. That doesn't mean they're false. It doesn't mean they're wrong. There's just different interpretations you can take towards the text. But it's weird that you're like, I'm going to look at this sensational thing, and you're like, I'm just going to completely ignore the sensational things that are in my own text, and I find that to be strange. I'm going to quote the illustrious, beautiful, wonderful Rachel Zegler. Weird, weird, weird.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that's what I feel. It's kind of weird,
Yeah, he's clearly starving for content. That that's kind of the thing, right? So he doesn't want to do flat Earth anymore, and you will laugh at this, because some other flat earthers started making up rumors and making up shit about Fkatzoid. So because some other flat earthers started making rumors about him, he left the flat earth community, right? When Fkatzoid, since December, since the final experiment, they were the biggest rumor mill when it came to crazy wild stuff about the final experiment and conspiracy here, conspiracy there. And while this was happening, Fkatzoid's friends are also going around saying that I hacked Fkatzoid during an interaction with MC2 and that kind of thing. So they don't have a problem lying about people, but they do have a problem when lies are told about them, and that's when he left the flat earth community. But he did a stream on the Bible the other day, had like 20 something views. So I don't know, it's hard for him. And this was just play a David Wood video, agree with everything he says, not consider anything for even 1 second, and then move on. But it's lazy, it's bad, and it shows how it's very easy to criticize on the surface level of something, but it takes a long time to learn and to, put forth some accurate criticism, some something that is informed based on what these people actually believe. So I guess with that, we'll probably do a part 2, because, oh my God, Isa, this is nothing. It gets so much dumber, and it keeps getting dumber. I watched until like 53 minutes or something.
Wow.
And it just keeps getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. It's fucking hilarious.
I just, from watching it, I'm just seeing brilliance. Like, it's so brilliant, and I think my mind is blown. You know.
Yeah. My mind was also blown, but because I kind of wanted to grab my, my Muslim costume and put it on and just debate him for Islam, because this is just lazy and dumb as hell.
I don't think he would debate you on anything though, because like I think a lot of people like this, they can talk a big game, but when they actually have to be engaged, they run for the hills.
Well, Chris from You Are Mobbed. Chris, I was challenging on a video. I was challenging Fkatzoid on a video that Chris posted with me when he interviewed me, and Fkatzoid was like, because I called him a grifter, was like, how am I a grifter? Yada yada. So I replied, and it was like, you're a grifter because you won't agree to debate me. And Chris proposed to do sort of like a trivia contest and not a debate, and I was like, yeah, I accept everything. And he ran away super fast.
Is that really shocking? Like, it doesn't sound shocking to me.
No, the people that kind of know me, really, they don't want to debate me after all. In the end. All right, I think I got the hang of when I am supposed to be freaking streaming for the streamathon. Stay tuned. The stream should go up soon. People, before we go, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your seat, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. Going to forward you over to Toon. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Have a good night.